keep the train on time, as they say. So those of you that have seats to my right, I would ask you to please come to your seats. Still working. What a beautiful morning in Burlington, right? Thank you, Mayor Weinberger, for this beautiful event in Burlington. And thank you, Melinda Moulton, for such a beautiful venue as Union Station. Welcome to this exciting day and this long-awaited event. There it is, right behind me. The Amtrak Ethan Allen. A train many of us have dreamed of seeing right here at Union Station. Imagine you can step on that train and step off in Penn Station, and you can return from the heart of New York City right back here to Burlington Union Station. Joining us today, we have special guests who have been instrumental in making this a reality, including Governor Phil Scott, Vermont's congressional delegation, Senator Bernie Sanders, Jeff Van Ott from Senator Patrick Leahy's office, and Rebecca Ellis from Congressman Peter Welch's office, and Mayor Moreau Weinberger. From the Federal Rail Administration, we have Jennifer Mitchell. And we are very honored today to have Stephen Gardner, the Chief Executive Officer of Amtrak. I would also like to welcome Vermont legislators who are here. There are many in the audience. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your continued support of the transportation program throughout decades. I especially want to welcome the Transportation Committee chairs, Senator Dick Mazza and Representative Diane Lampfert. I also wish to recognize Selden Houghton, President of Vermont Rail Systems, and no rail event would be complete without mentioning David Wolfson and his family's dedication to Vermont and rail. This has been a very long time coming, indeed. Vermont's Western Rail Corridor between Rutland and Burlington has been without passenger rail service since 1953. I am sure some of you recall that the one exception was a brief period from 2000 to 2003 when the Champlain Flyer provided passenger rail service between Charlotte and Burlington. In 1996, when the Ethan Allen Express service between New York City and Rutland was launched, many agencies, groups, and individuals began to plan for restoring the Burlington service, connecting Vermont's largest city to New York City. This has been a mighty team effort with state and federal funding, the invaluable support from our congressional delegation, and our critical partners. I would also like to acknowledge the support of our top state leadership, past and present, who are here with us in the audience today, including Governor Howard Dean, Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray, Senate President Pro Tem Becca Balint, Speaker of the House Jill Krowinski, Secretary of Commerce and Community Development, my cabinet colleague Lindsay Curley, and twice Transportation Secretary Brian Searles. I really want to thank Vermont Rail Systems and our important and talented group of contractors and industry partners who worked with the Agency of Transportation over the years, and especially in this last 2-year push, so that we could be here celebrating this event today. I want to thank these companies for their design and construction expertise and delivering the projects required to have this train parked behind me. And they are VHB, EIV, CHA, ECI, J. Hutchins, Markowski, Kubricki, Stantec, and GPI. And as I close my remarks before the speakers start, I really want to recognize friends and colleagues at VTrans. These are incredibly dedicated people without whose tireless effort and really hard work this day would not be possible. There is a legion of people at the agency, and I can't name them all, but I want to mention a few that are here with us today, because without them, this also wouldn't be possible. And that is Michelle Boomhauer, Trini Brassard, and most certainly Dan Delabriere. Now I welcome Governor Scott. Governor.
To this point, I know that all of us share in the well wishes of getting this train back here to Burlington again over decades. Bringing passenger rail back through Rutland and into Burlington with stops in Ferrisburg and Middlebury has been an enormous effort, with decades of work from so many people who have helped along the way. And it will have such a positive effect on Vermont and our economy. I first want to recognize and acknowledge how much infrastructure work went into this. A new platform in Middlebury and Burlington, a new station in Ferrisburg, 26 crossing projects, 9 bridge upgrades, a lot of track work, including full surfacing of the 67 miles between Rutland and Burlington, as well as 36 miles of new continuous welded rail and more. But without the vision, advocacy, and funding from so many partners, none of this would have been possible. So I want to start by recognizing the contributions of the late Jim Jeffords and members of his team like Jeff Munger. Without their relentless, without their relentless focus and constant efforts to secure funding, this would still be just a plan. While Jim and Jeff are no longer with us, it's nice to have Laura Jeffords, Mary Munger, and many of Mary and Jeff's family and friends here to celebrate with us. So thank you very much for coming today. I also want to thank Senator Leahy, who I spoke to just yesterday, and he told me how much he wished he could be here with us today. I think he'd rather be here than in PT down in Washington. As well, Senator Sanders, as well as their entire teams, for their unwavering support for this project. We couldn't be here today without their efforts as well. To give you a sense of how long we've been working on this, back in my days serving in the state Senate, when rail advocate Howard Dean was governor and Brian Searles was secretary, I served on the Transportation Committee. During my years on the committee, we had a couple of notables on there as well. Peter Shumlin, Peter Welch, who were also pro tems in their time. And of course, they both move on to bigger and better things. But we worked with the chair of the committee, my good friend Senator Mazza, and others. But some of the others are forgotten along the way. And I just want to remember Rutland County Senator Hall Maynard. Now, Hall Maynard never let us forget about the importance of rail along the Western Corridor, but especially how critical it was for Rutland. And he reminded us of that every single day. So we pushed investments which contributed to where we are today. So I want to thank all the legislators along the way who had a hand in this, because it was equally important for all of us to pull in the same direction. Extending service to Burlington will provide countless benefits for Vermont, and new opportunities will develop as a result. You'll be hearing from many of the people who helped make this a reality today, including the Mayor of Burlington and our federal partners at the Department of Transportation and Amtrak, who are committed to making sure this project is so successful. So again, thank you all for being here today, and for all those past and present. And I see a lot of you here in the audience, Charlie, you being one, who made this all possible. A lot of hands were involved in this, so thank you very much.
I would next like to introduce Mayor Moreau Weinberger.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Burlington waterfront on this joyous day that has been so many decades in the making. An hour from now, Burlington will send off its first train filled with passengers on a journey to New York City. It has been nearly 7 decades and 12 mayors since the last passenger train left this station in 1953. It is tremendously satisfying to be serving in this role when, after decades of work by many, many people, daily service resumes. You know, getting ready for this morning, I was very conscious of how it's really impossible to properly recognize everyone who has contributed to that work. I've been getting emails and calls in recent weeks from people who worked on this project in one way or another in the legislature, on city staff over the years. Thank you, Governor, for doing such a great job of really attempting to paint that picture. A lot of it goes beyond the history that I've had direct knowledge and contact with. I certainly was very aware of the role that Jeff Munger played, and he is very much on our minds today. I had the privilege of serving with Jeff on the Burlington Airport Commission for years, and I'm sorry he can't be with us today. We very much know he's here with us in spirit. I do want to thank the federal delegation, Senator Sanders, Congressman Welch, who can't be here with us, for the incredible focus and commitment of resources that they have made to this over the years. It seems very unfair that Senator Leahy's not able to be with us today. Senator, I want you to know that we're all thinking of you here in Vermont, wishing you a speedy recovery, and enormously thankful for the commitment that you have made to this wonderful Burlington waterfront, and we wish you the best, Senator. You know, this project, like maybe all major transportation projects, communications projects, faced, let's say, last mile issues in the recent years as we got ready for today. And sometimes those challenges, which were really quite complicated, really threatened our ability, put in jeopardy getting to today. And that is the part of the project that I've been most directly, personally involved in. And I do want to take a moment to say directly to the many parties that got us to this solution, thank you. Thank you to Main Street Landing for the key role you played, of course, over a long period of time. And as much as Melinda and Lisa did, thanks also needs to go to the other property owners surrounding here, all of who had to sacrifice and collaborate to get to today. So Lake Champlain Transportation and Echo also played key roles. Governor, Secretary Flynn, I think I hope it is not lost on anyone that during your tenure, we are getting done not just this project, but also the Shelburne Rotary project. We're in construction on the Champlain Parkway, and we got another rail yard enterprise project that is moving for a federal, state, local collaboration at lightning speed. Thank you, Governor, for your partnership and your commitment to Burlington, and we're grateful for it. Today's a great reflection of it. I know there are so many people involved in the state government aspects of getting today. I do want to particularly call out Senator Mazza, who I know is here and has been so committed to this project, Senator, for many years. It's been an honor working with you, and I haven't seen him. I hope he's here. I know Representative Kurt McCormick has also been extraordinarily committed to this project for many years. Finally, I want to say thank you to my team. Director Chapin Spencer is here. Right next to him is the city engineer, Norm Baldwin. There's a huge team behind them that have made today possible, and I just want to say thank you to the two of them and the whole team. Thank you for your persistence. Thank you for believing that we can take on so many challenges and get so much done. It's been really the honor of my career to get to work with this team. It's tempting to think of today as just, the completion of a major accomplishment, and certainly it is that. At the start of service today represents a dramatic milestone. A void left in our city's downtown has now been filled. This restored service will give a much-needed boost to our downtown at a key time, and travelers now have a new, lower carbon connection to New York City and the rest of the Amtrak system. And I should say it is a great privilege to have Stephen Gardner, the president of Amtrak, here with us today. At the same time, I think we have to hold on to the fact that we know there's much more to be done for rail travel to play the full role that it should here in Burlington and in this country, the role that it does in really all comparable countries to America. The challenge of our time, addressing the climate emergency, demands a far more robust rail system than we currently have, even with today's Burlington addition to it. So, in short, this memorable day must be both a celebration of progress and an inspiration to further investment, innovation, and transformation in the years ahead. Thank you all for being here. It's great to have you here.
Please welcome Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. Let me begin by saying that if today is about anything, it suggests that Vermonters are persistent. It's only been several decades, but we managed to accomplish it. And I want to just add my voice to those who have spoken in thanking all of the people at the local, state, federal level. Amtrak who played a great role in making this day possible. And I'm delighted that we are especially honoring Jim Jeffers, who helped bring a lot of federal money into this project way back when. We thank Laura for being here. And to thank Jeff Munger as well. Jeff worked for Senator Jeffers for a number of years, and I brought him onto my team as well because of his great knowledge of infrastructure in Vermont, and he played a great role with us, and we're delighted that Mary and her family are here with us today. As the mayor just mentioned, this project touches on a whole lot of issues. Very simply, what it does is if you choose not to get into your car and drive to New York City and spend $100 to park your car, you know what, take Amtrak. And Second of all, if you don't want to spend half your life waiting in an airport because your plane was just delayed as mine was today, you don't have the Amtrak going to Detroit, do you? I need that flight, that train as well. But my experience with Amtrak is that it has been very, very reliable, and the staff on board have been very, very courteous and doing their job very, very well. The bottom line is that as a nation, it is no secret to anybody that we have ignored our infrastructure, not only rail, roads, bridges, water systems, for a very, very long time. And it's fair to say that in many ways our infrastructure is crumbling. And in terms of rail, we are way behind where Europe, Japan, China are today. But I am proud to tell you, finally, maybe, just maybe, Washington is waking up. And last year we passed a $66 billion 5-year freight and passenger rail bill. I think the other point to be made today, and the mayor touched on it, is I know that in Vermont, if not in some other parts of this country, we understand that climate change is an existential threat to our planet. If we don't get our act together, the planet and the country we're going to be leaving our kids and grandchildren will become increasingly uninhabitable. We're seeing that with our own eyes right now. And rail is not going to solve all of the problems. We need to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel and into energy efficiency and sustainable energy. But it is an important part of the total goals of what we have got to accomplish. So today is an important and historic day. It means that Vermonters can get down to Rutland, get to Virgins, get to Middlebury in a lot more efficient way than previously. It means you can get to New York City. It means that Vermont is playing a role in trying to leave this planet in a little bit better shape for our kids and our grandchildren. So once again, let me thank all of the people, the state government for so many decades, at local government for so many decades. Yeah, I heard about this when I was mayor of Burlington too. And certainly I know I speak for Senator Leahy and Congressman Welch in saying thank you to everybody who made this day possible. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Jeff Van Ott from Senator Patrick Leahy's office.
Hi, thank you all. Governor Scott, Senator Sanders, Secretary Flynn, Mayor Weinberger, Deputy Administrator Mitchell, Representative Welch's staff, and all the hard-working state and local officials and President Gardner that all made this possible. Thank you, and it is a pleasure to represent Senator Leahy on the day that means so much for him and Marcel. It is wonderful to see so many familiar faces here for today's celebration, like Laura Jeffords and the Munger family. Senator Leahy and Marcel ask that I pass along their regrets that they cannot be here to share this momentous day with all you as he continues to recover from his hip surgery. He would be pleased to see all of you here today, as excited as he is by the long-anticipated return of the Ethan Allen to Burlington, Middlebury, and Virgins. Decades of work has gone into making this day possible. This return will make it easier for Vermonters to travel and easier for others to come here. Some businesses along the now extended route are already planning for additional visitors. The Senator has always believed in the need for expansion of passenger rail service throughout Vermont. He has proudly supported strong funding for Amtrak and the return of passenger service in Burlington through his role on the Appropriations Committee, overseeing federal spending levels, requesting earmarks, and securing programmatic funding in annual appropriations bills, and his hard work on the infrastructure law that was passed by Congress last year. During his time in the Senate, Senator Leahy has been able to secure $150 million for rail improvements across the Green Mountain State. As a result of his work and the work of so many others here today over several decades, passenger train service will return to Burlington's downtown station for the first time since 1953, almost 70 years. I don't know about you, but he is still holding out hope that the Champlain Flyer, which was clearly ahead of its time, makes a triumphant return to the region. I know that the Senator and Marcel could not be more proud of the group of leaders here today who have been instrumental in turning this idea into reality every step of the way. It has taken years, but your work, some recognized, but much not, has made this new service, which will connect our Vermont communities with the broader region, possible. Now, all we need to do is restore the Vermonter as a cross-border train to Montreal, which is something that Senator Leahy continues to work on in his remaining months in office. Again, thank you all for including me in representing Senator Leahy. He has looked forward to this day for decades, and he cannot be more disappointed that he cannot be here today, now that all the lights on the track are green for this service to finally become a reality. But he is so proud of the work of this group, and even more excited about what this expansion will mean for Vermont and the people who call our beautiful state home. Thank you all.
A moment ago, Senator Sanders commented about the reliability and the punctuality of Amtrak. And I was just reminded that this train is leaving at 10:10. So no pressure, but next I'd like to introduce Rebecca Ellis from Congressman Welch's office.
I'll be quick. What a great day. On behalf of Congressman Peter Welch, it is my pleasure to congratulate Amtrak on the commencement today of passenger rail service from Burlington to Ferrisburg and Vergennes to Middlebury and to Rutland, which will connect Burlington to the existing rail lines to New York City. Railroads have played an important role in our nation's history starting in the 19th century, connecting cities and spurring economic growth. They have fascinated writers and cultural observers, inspiring novels, board games, and movies. Today's passenger rail carries both commuters and vacationers, evoking the leisure of the past while providing the convenience of the modern era, including Wi-Fi and an environmentally friendly mode of travel. Congressman Welch is a strong supporter of rail and voted to triple Amtrak's funding in the House-passed INVEST Act. He will continue to support U.S. Rail in fiscal year 23 to maintain and improve existing trains and tracks and to bring American-made, high-speed hybrid trains to Vermont and New England. The Congressman would like to thank Senator Sanders and Senator Leahy, Governor Scott, Secretary Flynn, Mayor Weinberger, Amtrak CEO Stephen Gardner, Federal Rail Deputy Administrator Jennifer Mitchell, the Vermont Legislature, and the Vermont Rail System, and the many, many people here today who made today's launch possible. Congressman Welch encourages all Vermonters to purchase your ticket to ride and climb aboard the railroad of the 21st century.
Next, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Mitchell from the Federal Rail Administration. Thank you for coming to Vermont.
All right, I'll keep this quick. I got the message. We need to keep the trains on time. So, good morning on behalf of Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Administrator of FRA Amit Bose. I'm very happy to be here today. Congratulations on the launch of the Ethan Allen Express service between Burlington and New York City. I'm tremendously excited to be here. I know that this is going to be the first time that service will be restored in 70 years, and this project was made possible by federal funding in addition to state and local funds. That includes $27.5 million in what we call our Tiger funds, dating all the way back to 2005. We had 2 Tiger grants for a total of $18 million that were helped restore the tracks, the platforms, and the stations as well as about $9 million in railroad development funding too. So this project and the crowd that's here today is very emblematic of the excitement around the future of passenger rail in America. As you know, President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law, and I would like to thank very much Senators Sanders and Leahy, the congressional delegation that supported the bill as well. It's going to help us get more passenger rail out there to get people and goods where they want to go faster, safer, and more reliably. But today is just the beginning. We will advance many more crucial projects in the months and years ahead. Just last month, FRA allocated $370 million to 46 projects in 32 states that are going to advance faster, safer, more reliable freight transportation. This month, we've also made available $573 million in funding for our new railroad crossing elimination program. And very soon, we'll be announcing over $200 million in funding for projects through our federal-state partnership program. So this is a very transformative moment for rail in America. These new projects are going to help Americans get safely and efficiently to their jobs, their families and friends, or wherever they're going. So today is a reminder that this work is well underway. I want to share my congratulations to all of the people that made this happen. I know that these projects are decades in the making, and it's great to see this excitement. I also want to thank Stephen and our good partners at Amtrak as well, who will also be working to expand more projects across America in the coming years. So thank you again for inviting me.
Amtrak has been a partner and a friend with Vermont for decades, and it's truly a privilege to have Stephen Gardner with us today. Stephen?
Wow, what a great day. You know, I'm a kid who loved trains. I got to live out my fantasy job here as the head of CEO and president here at Amtrak. And the thing that unifies everybody at Amtrak is a really simple idea, which is that trains can do and must do a lot more for the nation. We need more trains in more places, serving more people. And this isn't some far-flung, wild dream. Guess who has the biggest rail system in the world? What nation? Anyone guess? United States. 50,000 more route miles than China, number 2. We have a huge system all over America, but you know what? We don't use it for moving people very much. In fact, in 1971, Amtrak was formed, and our system was bigger then than it is today. We've added 120 million people to the nation since 1971, but we have less train service than we did then. And today's event is about turning that tide and setting a new narrative for a sustainable, just, convenient rail service across the nation. In our system here with Amtrak, we're never the unitary actor. We do things in partnership with railroads, with states, with communities. And I want to just say, Vermont, you've got an incredible team that's been working for decades to make today happen. Under Joe's leadership, with the governor's leadership, it has taken decades to get to where we are today. But what a fantastic day it is. We're going to get a great on-time departure. I'm the one who's measured against this stat, everybody. Don't mess it up. So we're going to get a great departure. And as part of this trip, we're going to create an incredible connection to Amtrak's 46-state network. And we're going to make, as Senator Sanders says, a dent in this huge challenge of the climate crisis facing America, right? 30% of all greenhouse gas emissions come from the transportation sector. We support electric vehicles, but guess what, folks? It's not going to be enough. We got to change the way people move. And we can. We have a huge rail system out there in partnership, like the partnership between the state, Amtrak, and Vermont Railway. We can invest in railways, we can make them reliable, we can make them efficient, we can make them trip time competitive. And you can have enough frequency so that people can use the train in a functional way. That's what we need. It exists in some parts of the country. Vermont's been a leader in bringing it to New England, and we're going to do more of it. So thank you. I want to thank everyone here for, one, joining the celebration. It is a great day. And I want to just take a moment to recognize the federal delegation that has done so much to bring resources to make this happen. Senator Leahy, Senator Sanders, Mr. Welch. It has been an incredible, constant theme throughout the federal delegation to support Amtrak, which we're very grateful for, and to bring more and better service to this state. So thank you for your leadership. I want to, again, encourage everybody that It's great to watch, but it's better to ride. So please start getting your tickets booked. All right. And last but not least, I want to thank our crew, right? Our folks have been out here getting ready, out on the tracks. You're going to see them today in action. We're going to deliver great service. But please give them a thanks when you can. And it's great to see you all. Looking forward to the start of an incredible service. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Ray Hessinger. Ray is from the New York Department of Transportation, and NYSDOT partners with Vermont in many things and also in this train service. So Ray?
Thank you very much. On behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul and New York State DOT Commissioner Marie-Therese Dominguez, I'd like to say how excited New York State DOT is to partner in the expansion of the Ethan Allen Express to Burlington. The service represents the culmination of many years of hard work by my colleagues at VTrans, and we congratulate them in those efforts. For New Yorkers, this represents an easy and convenient way to experience the beauty of the Green Mountains and beautiful downtown Burlington. For Vermont residents, it's a one-seat ride to Manhattan and all the lights of Broadway. Under Governor Hochul's leadership, New York State is making historic investments through infrastructure across our state. This includes a recent $400 million commitment to the replacement of the Livingston Avenue Bridge in downtown Albany, which this train will cross. With stops in the Hudson Valley and throughout eastern New York, Vermont residents get an opportunity to
stand here today before this train celebration, the return of passenger rail from Burlington to New York. I think back to the 1990s when the state studied this service extension. And at the time, it was deemed too costly. If you can remember the fleecing of America, they criticized Governor Ardeen and myself for pushing the rail, and so we got criticized. I really enjoyed working with the Governor Ardeen back then and all the years, and that's it for me. Make it fast, okay? All right. I'd like to invite the House Transportation Chair, Diane Lamphere, to the podium. She's going to be short too, okay?
I'm short and getting shorter as the day goes by. Good morning. Good morning. Vermont House Transportation Committee has a long history of supporting not only Vermont's current infrastructure, but in investing in moving Vermont forward, seeking better opportunities for our citizens and our communities. Transportation improvements really make a difference in everyone's lives. But investments do take time, sometimes decades. And today is one of those moments of a long-sought goal. This goal required hundreds of my legislative colleagues and citizen advocates in working together. Today, we have before us a well-accomplished goal, passenger service restored on the Western Corridor. Today is not only a well-deserved finish line, but we also see it as the first day of the next starting line of a future dreams of rail service in Vermont. I would like to recognize some of the House members that are here today. Representative Shaw is out in the crowd. He is the Vice Chair of House Transportation Committee. Representative Burke, who's in the House Transportation. Representative Gabrielle Stevens is here today as well. And if there's anybody I missed, I apologize and I'll be quicker. But I'd also like to recognize some of the people that are not here today. And I know that I've served with them and that they're long serving on the committee, and I know them firsthand for their past commitment. And I'd like to recognize the efforts and the commitment from previous Representative Herb Russell from Rutland, previous Representative Chuck Bohai of White River Junction, previous Representative Mary Sullivan, who's here today, and previous and past Representative, I can almost hear his voice, Sonny Audette from South Burlington, and of course, Representative Kurt McCormick, past chair, who served not only from Rutland, but also from Burlington, who's here today.
But there's a very special, long-time previous member that is now passed, and that is Representative Bill Oswald of Burlington, who, while into his 90th birthday, served on the Vermont House Transportation Committee until 2012. I promised him that someday, sometime in the future, the Western Corridor service to Burlington would be a reality, and that day is here. I brought along his train whistle. Those who know him on the House, he's probably one of the only people allowed to have a prop on the floor. And that day is here, Bill. It is today, and I can almost hear his famous train whistle now. That's for you. That's for you, Bill, and I'll see you on the train.
Next, I'd like to introduce Selden Houghton, President of Vermont Rail Systems. After Selden speaks, I would ask that the speakers join us between the train and the two green posts where the ribbon will be. And I'd also invite Senate Pro Tem Becca Balint, the House Speaker Jill Krowinski, and the Lieutenant Governor to join us for that event, as well as those of you who spoke today. So without further ado, our great partner from Vermont Rail Systems, President Selden Houghton.
Thank you, Secretary Flynn. Echoing the many comments this morning, Vermont Rail System is excited to be here today to officially welcome Amtrak to Burlington. We wish to thank our federal and state representatives, the Vermont Agency of Transportation, Amtrak, the City of Burlington, multiple contractors and engineering firms, and the many, many others who all contributed to make today possible. I'm proud to be standing here today representing the exceptional team at Vermont Rail System, who worked tirelessly over the last year, pushing some of the final projects needed to make today happen. All of this effort by our team while still ensuring that freight moved for Vermont businesses. Personally, I'd like to recognize David Wolfson for his commitment towards making this day possible. And all the other key members of the VRS team that are here with us today for their tireless dedication over the last several months. Thank you very much. I can remember standing here about 20 years ago when the last Champlain Flyer train left the station and discussing when Amtrak would leave from here. Over the years, every time we ran a tourist or dinner train out of this station, we would inevitably be asked by a passerby if they could get on a train to New York City here. Today, it's great to be able to answer yes. Thanks again to our partners at the Vermont Agency of Transportation, Amtrak, and to all who are involved in making this day happen. The team at VRS looks forward to working with our many supporters and team members and growing this service over the years to come. Thank you.
So that concludes the official remarks, and now we'll move to the ribbon cutting.